And a Merry Christmas to you this morning. Oh, God, I thought it was Christmas, but I guess not. Good morning. Happy Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to tell you how often Friday the 13th comes around?
Once or twice a year, right?
At least.
Yes.
At least. You know which years?
Every year.
Every year. Greeny from Golf Shop Radio is joining us a little bit early this morning. Good morning to you, sir.
Doing good, my man. How you doing this morning?
I'm good. I'll tell you, like Larry the Cable Guy says, this is what he said when he was talking about he was acting somewhat immature. And Jeff Foxworthy said, how old are you? And he said, old enough. He said, when's your birthday? And he said, 17th of February. And he said, when? He said, what year? And he said, every year.
Every year.
Yeah. So that's the same way with Friday the 13th. It's coming every year. It doesn't really matter.
Right.
I used to think about stuff like that and walking under ladders. I do cross off a black cat if I pass one on the road, but that's just doesn't really mean anything. It hadn't done anything for me. Anyway, good morning. How's your Friday the 13th morning started out, sir?
Well, today was the first day that I got to go into the drop-off line for my kindergartner, so that was it actually went very well. So good experience so far today.
And that's saying a lot this early in the year when it's just getting started. Usually that's when the hiccups happen. So that's good. That's good. You've just got, what, not counting this year, 12 more years.
Exactly, yeah. I'm just beginning, so I've got a lot more of this to come, and one day he'll drive himself.
That's correct. That's correct. Lot of things going on. Any hot topics that you're hearing before we kind of get into some things?
Well, of course, I'm a Patriots fan, so we had the Cam Newton-Mac Jones show last night. So as a New England Patriots fan and living in Charlotte, obviously, and getting to see the Cam Newton show for many years with the Carolina Panthers, I'm still pulling for Mac Jones to start week one.
Well, everybody else is too. I didn't get an opportunity to watch that.
It wasn't on around here unless you had it on streaming.
And it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
There was football on, but
Yeah.
I was not missing the Field of Dreams game, and that was absolutely amazing and a super ending.
Right, yeah. Well, so it was on NFL Network is where I caught the game last night, and Mac Jones represented himself very well, and it seems like if you want to go back to the Tom Brady style of offense where everything is built on timing, then Mac Jones is going to be your guy. We all know that Cam Newton has never really been a timing guy. It seems like he does a lot of double clutching, but obviously, there's going to be some experience factor in there. So it's really going to depend on, what the Patriots think and how they think it's going to be best served, at least for the first couple of games. I
can't believe that you broke that news that Cam Newton's not the most accurate guy.
He's not accurate, and he's not on time. I hate to say it, but that's the way it works.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Hey, Greeny, this is Juju. We didn't have a chance to see the game on Spectrum up here in the Hickory area. They had the Steelers game on, which is fine by me. I'm a Steelers fan against the Eagles. But when you looked at the Patriots last night, and there's a kid that went to school at Lenore Ryan up here that's the starting strong safety for the Patriots, Kyle Duggar, number 23. Did you have a chance to see? I know he started. Did you have a chance to see on maybe how he played?
Defense was a little shaky starting out. It seemed like that they kept getting the Washington football team in third down and then would give up just enough for a first down. So looks like they kind of tightened up a little bit late in the game, and then I think the third-string guys almost kind of gave up the ghost at the end. But, yeah, I mean, I think the fans and I think the coaching staff are really high on Duggar. I think he's just got some of that athletic ability that it's hard to ignore. And, with another year under his belt, I think he becomes one of the impact players on that defense. And it's a defense that should be really good when you consider they've got guys back like Hightower who did not play last year. And the defense was actually pretty decent and held them into a lot of games last year, and the offense just couldn't win any games. So, I think he's an impact player for them on defense.
When you talk about Duggar, I had the opportunity to work sidelines for a couple of years for Lenore Ryan. He's a man. He is a man when he's down there, and he's so impressive to be on field level when you watch him. I got to see him in a lot of returns, and he was spectacular at that. And it basically, for Lenore Ryan, was a center fielder. He just sat back there in the middle of the field and just kind of scooped up whatever happened.
He was like Troy Polamalu.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He lined up wherever and played center field. What about the Panthers? Something happened yesterday. They're, I guess, practicing or scrimmaging against an opponent, and head coach Matt Rule wasn't too happy about how things progressed.
Yeah, I didn't see that yesterday. And that's the thing. They were talking about that on the Patriots game, is that, the Patriots are coming up with the Eagles, and, you have the opportunity to control those matchups and those scrimmages. So, obviously, if he saw something that he didn't like and he had the ability to stop the practice and try and make corrections, I mean, you want your guys playing, maybe some live snaps against not your own players to kind of develop that. I mean, it's always interesting that the NFL teams do that. You'd almost like to see that maybe trickle down to a college thing where, Laney, maybe like a Clemson grabs a Furman or somebody nearby, and maybe they get an opportunity to get a little scrimmage going against each other. So, for me, I think it's good, and if Matt saw something that he didn't like, that's what that practice is there for.
Well, there's a lot of debate, and it happened, I guess, earlier this week. There's been some of those skirmishes, even inside your own team, and they say, is it good or is it bad? And it's I think it's good, and I believe it was the Jets had an all-out brawl. You know where Joe Judge is?
Yeah.
I think they had
Giants.
The Giants.
Yes.
The Giants had an all-out brawl inside their own team. And, some people say, well, that's because it's kind of pent up because you haven't beat on anybody else. But the fact is, nobody really beats on anybody anymore. Yeah. I don't think.
No. They have one practice a day, and they haven't really had a kind of a normal type practice or a training camp. Like last year's pretty much of a wash. And this year, the same. I think every team has had the issues. I followed the Steelers, and they had similar type things. Some of the veteran defensive linemen got in a fight with some offensive linemen. Some rookies are trying to make their name for themselves as well. Hey, Greeny, let's switch over to golf real quick. I want to ask you about the Wyndham Championship after a round. Russell Henley is the leader there. He's had I don't follow golf intently as I follow football, but I just remember he seems to have had a really good year, especially of late.
Russell Henley's had kind of a good year from a first two rounds perspective. Mm-hmm. Hasn't really been able to hang on over the weekend, and you do see that a lot from guys on the PGA Tour that, some guys roll out and they have a great first couple rounds, and then the cream rises to the top over the weekend. I mean, another guy to watch is Matt Kuchar. I mean, Matt Kuchar hasn't been anywhere. He came out with a 4-under yesterday, and he's right there. Like, I think started the week at 124 on the points list. We know the top 125 make the playoffs. It's always interesting with the Wyndham, though, when you start talking about FedEx Cup playoffs, because we know that these guys are trying to position themselves. Some are trying to get in, some are trying to stay in, some are trying to get inside the top 70 so that they have a better chance of getting into week 2. Some guys are trying to get into the top 30 so they can play all 3 of them. But it's interesting that traditionally only a couple guys usually get in and a couple guys get knocked out. I think at one point yesterday, right before they stopped for the weather, there was only 2 guys falling out and 2 guys going in. So that's something to always keep an eye on at the Wyndham is who's making it and who's not. Because Ricky Fowler came in at 130. He wasn't playing too well yesterday, and he was already down to 133 in the projection, so not looking good for Ricky Fowler.
You know what is bad, Greeny, is they really killed that tournament when it left being the GGO, and they played it in the spring because it could be anything from 1,000,000 degrees to snow. If you remember back in the day when it was in the spring. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget, we had a golf tournament one year. We wanted to have something a little bit cooler when I was working in Charlotte. This would have been in the mid-'80s. And we played it on the weekend on a Saturday that the GGO was in town. And I believe, I can't remember if it was March or April, but we played at Mallard Head down in Mooresville. And I'll never forget, it never got above 37 degrees. It was a constant 20-mile-an-hour wind. And it snowed the final 3 holes of the tournament that day. And they told me maybe we could swap for a cooler tournament instead of a cold tournament because we always played in the summer. but you never knew. And was that not the weekend before the Masters, traditionally?
Yeah, it was. So it's always kind of been in a tough place because, when you roll in before majors or after majors, you kind of don't know what you're going to get from a field perspective. I mean, they had a better field this year than they've had in a while, but then they lost Louis Oosthuizen and Patrick Reed, who were exhausted, and both of them bailed out this week. So that's the potential that you have. And, it's interesting. They put out the new schedule, which starts, in a month. Right after the Ryder Cup, and somebody made a point to say, we always talked about the Masters was kind of the kickoff to the full swing of the PGA Tour season. Well, guess what? Now with these wraparound seasons, when you play the Masters mid-April, the season's already more than halfway over. How about that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's made a difference in how they've shook up the schedule. One story just want to get your take on. Former NBA standout J.R. Smith has enrolled at North Carolina A&T. He intends to join their golf team if he gets cleared by the NCAA. Now, Brian Holloway, who's the athletic spokesman, told ESPN that Smith is officially enrolled in the school and has petitioned the NCAA to be eligible to play. Smith's clock to compete as a collegiate athlete has not yet started because he went straight to the NBA after high school. So most times you get 5 years to complete 4 years of eligibility, but because he's been paid as a professional, there could be a little issue there. What do you think?
How old was Chris Wenke at Florida State?
He was 25. That's in the two. He played 6 seasons in MLB, and then led Florida State to a national title and won the Heisman when he was 28.
Right. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I think, especially now, with these NIL deals going on. I was just reading this morning that BYU got a sponsorship deal for all of the walk-ons coming to their team. So their walk-ons basically are having their college tuition paid for at least 1 year.
Wow.
So how it's any different from an athlete that's already been paid?
But they're not being paid for a sport. They're being paid for their name. It's that little quirk that's in there.
Totally get that, but at the same time, I don't understand why you wouldn't give a waiver to him. He never enrolled in college. He's eligible. I think we should encourage somebody that's never gone to college before to go back and get that degree. I think that's what we should be encouraging from an educational standpoint. And if he wants to play a sport, have at it, man. Have at it. That's what I say.
Well, if Winky could do it, the precedent's been set.
And there have been others too,
Yeah. Now, you ask how old he is. He's 35.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 35, and do you know who drafted him in 2004?
I don't.
The New Orleans Hornets drafted him in 2004 when they moved out of Charlotte. Now, he was originally committed to play for Roy Williams. He was a McDonald's All-American in high school, and he decided to hire an agent and enter the 2004 draft. He did. The Hornets took him with the 18th pick. He won 2 titles as a member of the Cavaliers and the Los Angeles Lakers. He's got 2 NBA titles. He also won the NBA Sixth Man of the Year award during the 2012-2013 season. But I don't know why this should even be a discussion.
Shouldn't be. You think about
if he's a full-time student
and
he wants to play, and it's not the sport that he got paid to play.
If you think about how much power the NCAA has right now, how much of a toothless organization that it is, go ahead and do whatever you want to feel like.
Well, he's enrolled.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But in other schools, if they want to do what BYU is going to do, and you can bet you there will be other schools that do that. If BYU can try it. Who's to say the NCAA is even going to be around by the time they get around to trying a case like they did with Baylor? Who's to say they're going to be around in 5 or 6 years?
Now let me give you the rule, and I'll give you one of the challenges.
The heck with the rules.
They're trying.
No rules.
They're trying. One of the things that's complicated things is they're trying to find his high school transcript from 17 years ago. How about that? That's a slight problem.
Yeah.
And then NCAA rule says an individual shall not be eligible for intercollegiate athletics in a sport.
The hell with the NCAA.
Wait a minute. In a sport, if the individual has ever competed on a professional team in that sport.
That's archaic.
But the laws do not ban a former pro athlete from competing in a different sport. Multiple collegiate athletes have played both professional sports before returning to school to compete on a D1 level. I'm like you, Greeny. I think it's awesome that he wants to play golf. Yeah. He's a 5 handicap, okay? And he gets in college, he will improve that. That'll get better. Yep. But the ability to go back, get an education, and he doesn't need a scholarship. He can pay for his way, and to compete and play on a golf team. I think it's a neat story.
Yeah.
Yep, it certainly is.
Greeny, thanks for your time, sir. Glad the car line went well this morning.
Yeah, there you go. All set. We're rocking and rolling this morning.
Greeny from Golf Shop Radio. Who you got on tomorrow before I let you go?
We're going to have Bill Rosinski live from the U.S. Amateur up at Oakmont. So they've been delayed by all kinds of weather, and I'm sure we'll get a Wyndham update, and we'll talk to Bill Bender, the Sporting News.
Absolutely. We talk with Bill every Wednesday morning. Have a good day, sir, and a good show tomorrow.
Thanks. You have a good weekend.
Thanks, buddy. That's Greeny from Golf Shop Radio.
Did you see the news this week about Oakmont? And I just follow that because it's Oakmont Country Club up in Latrobe, PA, is where the Steelers used to train or have been training until this year because
Isn't
of
that
COVID.
where Arnold's from? Latrobe?
Yeah, sure enough.
Okay.
Sure enough. But I guess they're getting
Quaker State.
The Quaker State, the Quaker State man with his truck, right? His what am I thinking of? Not his truck, but his trailer. His tractor. Yeah. But Oakmont is going to be the site of a bunch of U.S. Opens and amateurs and everything like that. They made that announcement this week over the next 10 years.
All right, we're going to take a break, and then when we come back on the other side, we should be joined by Will Byrne, head coach at Maiden High School. We'll talk a little high school football. Back with more here on The Bottom Line.
If you ask around, you'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with Auto Owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver or visit MooneyInsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. And welcome back. Waiting on our guest, Will Byrne, Maiden Blue Devils. Did you get to see? Yeah, I got feedback, and I got to figure out where this comes from.
Yeah, I hear a little bit of it myself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And now, because my Facebook feed stuff is working right, and I think it's because I don't have it muted or mutated. There we go. Now, much better. Should go away now.
Yep.
To go away?
Yeah, I don't hear anything.
Okay.
And I have perfect hearing.
Do you really?
Uh-huh.
I don't. I'm old. I'm not like you. I'm not fortunate like that. Let's see. Richie's in the house. Bill Klein, Milton, good morning. Glad to have all you folks with us this morning.
What were you going to ask? Did I have a chance to see
any of the Field of Dream game?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I went back and forth.
I didn't get to see the first part of it. We went down to Court Street,
down
in Lincoln for dinner, and then when I came back, I turned on Keever. Keever hit me as soon as it came on. I hope you're watching this.
Okay.
I did not realize till yesterday that the field they played on was built specifically by Major League Baseball. There is a corn maze between the actual studio field and the field they played on. But watching those bombs hit the cornfield
that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was really
awesome.
Cool. I think one of the same companies that kind of in charge of these temporary stands and temporary stadiums, Appalachian had it, LR's had it, that kind of company did the same thing as they built that. The press box was a temporary press box. Somebody asked online last night, what's going to happen? They're going to keep the field? No, it's coming down. And, they're going to tear it down.
Really?
Yeah, and they're going to tear it down and let the field or let the corn grow
stupid.
Again.
That should be an annual thing like the what's the hockey thing called?
Oh, yeah, the outdoor hockey thing at baseball stadiums, yeah.
Can you imagine how many MLB teams?
The Winter Classic.
How many MLB teams would sign up to play one game there?
Yeah, probably. But I'm not so sure how many teams would draw that because of the way it was. The White Sox were drawing. It's funny that
No. The fans will be drawn to the game. If you build it, Ray, they will come. Okay?
Yeah.
And that's what it was about. It's only 8,000 people.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been one of those 8,000 people.
They paid a pretty penny, like $2,300 average ticket, something like that. And the game was blacked out in almost all the Midwest. Can you believe that?
Really?
Yeah. In Iowa, you couldn't even get the game in Iowa. There are like 6 teams that Iowa's part of the TV market. including Chicago and Milwaukee and St. Louis. So people in Iowa, and I know Iowa's not the metropolis that some states are, but you couldn't even see it. And there are other parts that you couldn't see it as well. But, yeah, I mean, that should be something that could be promoted and done every year. But, again, it wouldn't have the cachet with the 30-year anniversary of the movie. And, someone asked why Kevin Costner threw out the first pitch. Obviously, we all know why.
Oh, watching him come through the corn.
Yeah, that was cool,
And I
too.
saw it on replay, but watching him come through the corn to start the game.
And I know some of the guys and some of the people that were in the movie, the original movie, or have passed on. But were there not anybody else in the movie except for Kevin Costner?
And the guy that played his dad. I know both of them were to be there.
Okay.
They may have had a little catch before it started.
They may have.
I don't know.
They have.
But, Richie said the stadium holds 8,000 in a town of 4,000.
Yeah.
Kind of like Clemson becomes the second largest city in South Carolina on Saturdays.
Yeah.
Now, Brandon said they announced that they will be doing it again next year. I can't believe Major League Baseball just doesn't come in there and buy that. And it's just such a neat place.
So they're not tearing it down. I mean, stuff that I read said they're tearing it down. It'll take about 2 weeks.
I would think that the success that they had, it would be hard to tear it down because, and maybe the novelty of it will wear off, but not for me. I thought it was awesome.
There's almost no difference between that and playing the old Hall of Fame game in
baseball?
Yeah, in upstate
I didn't
New
know
York.
that.
Yeah, in upstate New York.
And why upstate New York?
That's the home of the
whole Little League?
No, Abner Doubleday.
Okay.
Yeah, Cooperstown.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a baseballer.
Yeah.
You know that.
But they've gotten away from that because I think the baseball field at Cooperstown, and they did it in Fayetteville a couple of years back, right? They built the stadium for Fayetteville, and now they have a minor league team again in Fayetteville. So they kept the stadium there in Fayetteville. It's a different market, obviously, than BFE in Iowa.
Yeah. I just don't. I thought it was a great thing.
Yeah, it was.
I really liked it. I love that movie. My daughter was fussing at me because she said, "Really, that's your favorite movie?" I'm like, "It's got to be my top sports movie, but it's not a sports movie. It's more of a message movie." That's what me and Ford were talking about yesterday. I just got this in. This is from Chancellor Sherry Everett at App State. And this is an update. It says, we must continue to be vigilant, get fully vaccinated from COVID-19 if you've not already done so. Submit your vaccination status by August 16th. Wear face coverings indoors. Stay informed by reading the latest university updates. Students, faculty, and staff can get vaccinated on campus. Here's the part that bothers me. Once students have submitted their full vaccination status, they'll be placed into a pool for prize drawing, which include free parking passes, gift cards for on-campus dining and community businesses, football giveaway weekends. Additionally, students will be eligible to win a $1,000 scholarship. That really, really bothers me.
Here's a couple of things, couple of anecdotal examples from some of the local schools and colleges around here, four-year universities, and some people I bumped into or students or parents who had kids that are going off to college at some of the local four-year schools. Most everybody's raised tuition. And now they are saying, some of the kids are saying, wait a second, I got a different.
I gave you a year for nothing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
no, I know.
And there's some people that are upset and
looking
for other places to go.
What may happen is I was watching this morning on the news, and I believe this was Chapel Hill where they did this story, and the students were like, I don't care if I got to wear a mask. I don't care what it is. I'm just so happy to be back on campus.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they won't shut it down again. And they're really the schools will be in a really lurch if they do it again, because then students will just say, well, look, if you're going to do that, I can find cheaper online classes.
Yeah.
And then you got into the thing with the dorms and the food service and so many moving parts. I'm still trying to understand why you have to do it exactly. But
I've never seen the logic in shutting things down, affecting people that are the most unlikely to get this virus.
Ford had some numbers, and I can't remember off the top of my head yesterday about, and you will understand this too. I keep seeing all these cases. Okay, the cases are going up, but you know what we're not seeing that we saw the first time around?
No.
Deaths. You know, that was the big story. This many people died today. We're not seeing that. Is that because the numbers aren't high enough that they're going to make you knee jerk? So they just do the cases of how many cases are out there. Cases are never going away.
No, they're not. No. So
cases
that's
never going away.
That's the new talking point, I guess, is how many cases or how many so-called infections. There was talk at our school yesterday that people of a certain age are going to get the booster shot. Is it 55 and above or 60 and above? Anyway, I fall in that range starting this fall. Mm-hmm. And we were told maybe in October.
Was that all of them? Or just, I'd heard Pfizer. I had not heard anything about Moderna.
Correct. Yeah, it's Pfizer. And then it opened up my eyes because I did have Pfizer back in the spring.
I'm a Moderna guy.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And again, it goes back to the point. The CEO of Pfizer will not get the shot. Has not gotten one.
And what did he say about it?
I don't know. What he didn't say is he was supposed to go to Israel because they are doing booster shots in Israel. He wanted to go there to either promote it or talk with somebody or something, and they wouldn't let him in because he did not get vaccinated. The CEO of Pfizer refused vaccination. Talk about hypocritical, huh? Or am I seeing something wrong?
This says that he's resigned.
Oh, he's resigned. Oh, see,
first one, the one that wouldn't take it.
Okay.
The new one.
When did he resign? That had to be last week.
December.
No.
Okay, wait a minute.
No. Not December.
Let me see what this is.
The CEO was supposed.
Ian Reed.
I don't remember his name.
Chairman of the board, and will continue to serve as CEO.
This guy was supposed to be in Israel last month in July, right before they started the booster program.
Okay. I don't know. I'll have to do a little more digging into that. I think I saw a video about that, but I don't remember what it was.
Anyway, you're right. It's everything seems to be whatever you want to call this 2.0.
Yeah.
Let's get back to football talk a little bit if you want to while you do that.
Tell me about the Steelers last night.
Well, I did watch the Steelers. They ran for over 150 yards. Backup quarterback. Few of the starters played. The major starters didn't. Ben obviously didn't play. He'll start next week in their third preseason game.
And one of the keys to the Steelers' success, is it Najee Harris?
Yeah, Najee Harris. He played. He had a couple of long runs called back due to holding calls. Their offensive line's the major thing. They got rebuilt offensive line. They'll have, I think, 5 new starters. Their defense looked okay, especially up front. Their secondary's some question marks, but none of their starters played last night. The major starters on the defensive side and the secondary. But Dwayne Haskins had a really good game as he's trying to be the backup quarterback. He threw for, 16 to 20 for 160-some yards. But he looked okay. They came back from a 13-0 deficit and a 16-7 deficit, and they went on to win. They were pretty good. For a preseason game, minus some penalties and getting behind early, I think they probably found themselves, obviously, a running back. I think they have found themselves a couple of tight ends, including one of their draft picks from Penn State. And I think they got a pass rush, even though T.J. Watt is going to probably get a new contract. He hasn't been practicing with the team and team drills. He does individual stuff. But when they go to scrimmaging and teamwork, he sits out because he wants a new contract. They got some guys that can rush the passer, including the Highsmith kid from Charlotte.
Yeah, that I've got a signed
That's him.
A signed end zone marker.
They look good. I mean, they look good from the perspective of what they want to accomplish in the preseason, try to upgrade their offensive line and find somebody who can rush the passer and, in, I guess, linebacker play.
Does it still hinge on Ben's play?
A lot of it does. Yeah, it does. It sure does, especially if – and they got enough weapons, but is it we're going to see the Ben that the Steeler fans saw the first 12 games, or are you going to see the Ben that Steeler fans saw the last 5 games? When he went 1-4.
That's the Ben you're going to see. I just don't think Ben's got it in him.
Yeah,
and I think Ben's going to be like Drew Brees. Showed more of it last year. Just don't have enough to get through those 17 games.
Yeah.
The body just won't do it.
I think Ben's a better. I think he's built better than Drew Brees in terms of his physical conditioning, even though he's more of a – just like Brees was. He was just a statue there. But Brees at 5'10 or 5'11, Ben's 6'5", 6'4". If they protect and they got a new offensive coordinator, new offensive line coach, new tight ends coach, if they protect him, they're going to try to run the ball as much as possible. They'll take a lot of pressure off the quarterback. He won't have to throw the ball 50 times. And that's the MO. I think any team, especially the Steelers, when they know when games get into November and December and the bad weather in January, if they're chucking it around the yard 50 times a game, that's not what they're built for.
But the problem with that is they don't have the offensive line to get that executed.
No, they don't. Yeah. Not right now. They got too many
questions.
And
the other side of that is they don't have the offensive line to protect Ben, who is not nearly as mobile as he used to be.
Again, it goes back to your question, or it's something that I asked. What is it more important? Does having a breakaway or a franchise running back make the offensive line better? Or can an offensive line make an average running back better? I mean,
a super offensive line can make an average offensive back better.
Yeah.
Because
they don't have that.
I mean, the exception to that's been McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Okay. But the problem with that is if he goes down, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because there's very few of those that can do that. To where if you have stellar offensive line play, your quarterback and your running backs can be more plug and play because they don't rely on that superior talent.
Yeah. Well, they got the bell cow now. They went out and drafted the bell cow, and I think they're going to do the opposite of what you're saying, and hoping that he can make the offensive line better.
But it's not long term. They can transition through that. He may get them there, but if you don't, he'll never get a second contract because he'll beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest about it. You still got to have an offensive line, and you're still going to have to throw the ball some.
I think they could throw. They got enough weapons to throw it, but not 50 times.
But can they get time? Do they have enough offensive line to get Ben time?
Yeah. If they run the ball, they can. I think in any level, high school, college, pro, play action pass is a great weapon to have.
As long as the play action portion is truly a threat and they treat it as a threat.
Yeah.
When teams do that but can't quite get that running game established, teams don't make that adjustment to pull in off the pass to guard against the run because they don't feel threatened by it.
How many teams are there in the NFL? 30, right?
32.
32 teams. Steelers were 32nd in rushing last year, 32nd.
Which is unacceptable.
Unacceptable. If they get up to 20 or inside the top 20, then they'll be a heck of a lot better.
Is Ben in the top half of quarterbacks in the NFL?
Top 16 or 17? I think so. He's not that far. I mean, he might be 13, 14, 15, 16, somewhere there. I'd have to
look at the list.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the list. Let me take a break. We'll be back with more.
If you ask around, You'll find Burke Mortuary has a reputation for excellence and commitment to value. They've built a reputation of trust for more than 35 years. Burke Mortuary is proud to offer personal attention, meaningful tributes, and the area's most affordable prices. They're also proud to offer you beautiful, state-of-the-art facilities. It's the perfect place to honor your loved one. So when choosing a funeral home, the choice is easy. Choose Burke Mortuary with locations in Maiden and Newton.
Whether it's a sit-down meal or a call-in for the drive-thru, Brookwood Cafe and Catering is the answer. A variety of meats, vegetables, and desserts cooked daily, or a hot sandwich from the grill, they have what you're looking for to satisfy your taste buds. If you need catering from 5 to 500, Brookwood has you covered as well. Stop by Brookwood Cafe and Catering at 202 Providence Mill Road in Maiden. Don't forget breakfast daily till 11 a.m. Open Tuesday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., Wednesday through Saturday 6 a.m. till 8 p.m., and Sunday from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Call 828-428-8944 to place your order today.
First Federal Savings Bank has been serving Lincoln County since 1940. And as it has been from the beginning, customer service is a priority to First Federal Savings Bank. They want to get to know you by name. First Federal Savings Bank has the convenience, the products, and the services that the larger banks have, but with hometown people that you see throughout your community. Stop in and visit one of their 4 convenient locations and see what First Federal Savings Bank has to offer you. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender. Times convenience stores are more than convenient. They're your neighborhood store, your store. With locations in Lincoln, Catawba, Gaston, Iredell, and Mecklenburg counties, there's one near you. Times convenience stores have the right items at the right price, from snacks, cold drinks, and light meals from the grill, and there's always a special to save you time and money. Times has what you need. Times convenience stores, there's one near you. Regardless of where you're going, there's one on your way. Remember, there's always time to stop by Times. Covenant Church began as a vision of just over 100 people in 1984. Since then, Covenant Church has grown and currently located at 2168 Gastonia Highway in Lincoln. The Sunday schedule includes early morning worship at 8:30, Sunday school at 9:45, and morning worship at 10:45. Their ministries extend beyond Sunday. Visit their website at www.covenantchurch.church to see all they have to offer, and better yet, stop by and see for yourself. Covenant Church may be just what you're looking for a new church home.
In the best of times, no one is more deserving of every opportunity, encouragement, and support than the youth in our communities. Parents, teachers, coaches, and sponsors struggle to stretch their budgets to continue help. Communities need a team effort. Times Oil Corporation, a longtime member of the community, established the Times Educational Alliance Mission, or Team Foundation. Since 2011, over $125,000 in grants have been donated in the community. Times Oil and the Team Foundation are proud to be community partners.
Untangling your headphones, finding the right remote, saying goodbye to your favorite shirt that hasn't fit in 10 years. Why are simple things sometimes so complicated? Thankfully, with auto owners, insurance doesn't have to be one of them. Auto Owners works with independent agents who live in your community and answer when you call, so you can worry about more important things, like finding a new favorite shirt. That's simple human sense.
Call Mooney Insurance in Maiden or East Lincoln Insurance in Denver, or visit mooneyinsurance.com. Stifel Nicholas now has an office in your community. Stifel Nicholas is a full-service organization offering a wide range of investment vehicles and services. These include money market funds, CDs, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and managed accounts, to name a few. Our financial advisors will sit down with you and help you tailor an investment plan, explaining strategies and investments which may help you achieve your personal goals. Call 4 Rembert today at 828-624-7300. Stifel Nicholas, member SIPC, and the New York Stock Exchange. A real job got in the way. I apologize.
That's okay.
Sometimes it happens.
That's why they pay you the big bucks.
Yeah, they're not throwing that $4 around an hour for nothing. I'll tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. That's not happening. They're not going to do that. I asked Juju a good question before we get into On This Day, and this is the question. Yesterday I heard the talking heads say, who has more pressure on them as far as transitioning from a college coach to a professional coach? Matt Rule, going into his second year, he's got a second-year quarterback. He's got a new quarterback, veteran quarterback, at least been in the league, not been successful, but been in the league. Or Urban Meyer, startup program at the Jacksonville Jaguars under Urban Meyer, brand-new quarterback, brand-new tight end, and Tim Tebow. I thought I'd throw that in because tomorrow's his birthday. He'll be 34, 35. I can't remember. And then the second part B of that question is, which one of those two teams do you think will be more successful? Urban Meyer with the Jaguars or Matt Rule with Carolina Panthers? Most of the talking heads are of the opinion that Matt Rule will do pretty well with Sam Darnold. Now, that's yet to be seen.
Who will have the most pressure? I think Matt Rule. I think there's a grace period of a year for Urban Meyer since he's not been in the NFL before. And we'll get that grace period this year. And who will do better? Yeah, I will probably say that the Panthers will do a little bit. I haven't looked at the schedule. Jacksonville was poor last year, obviously. Otherwise, they wouldn't have got the number one pick. So they're going to play fourth or fifth place schedule. They're going to play all the teams that finished at the bottom of each division.
Well, I honestly think the Panthers should do pretty well except for Tampa Bay. The question of who's going to quarterback New Orleans and what that's going to look like is still way up in the air. Jameis throwing 40 touchdowns and 45 interceptions, or Taysom Hill running the Wildcat shotgun quarterback draw
or a combination thereof.
Yeah,
which probably will be the case.
And then Atlanta with the Panthers should be okay
within their division.
Are they 500?
Panthers 500. Well, they can't be 500.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
That's so stupid. Can they be 8-9 or 9-8?
Probably. They'll be right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if 8-9, 9-8 would be, I think that's probably the most you can hope for.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll be better than that, but I would think that would be something to shoot for. Again, I don't know. I haven't looked at each schedule, but Jacksonville won how many games last year? 1, 2?
Not many.
Yeah. One game maybe? Whatever. I don't know if they can go from 1 to 9. I mean, they may go from 1 to or 2, whatever, how many wins they had, from there to maybe 6 or 8, 7.
Let me ask you this. This is the part that bothers me about.
Look at their division.
Yeah.
Besides the Colts.
Yeah. And the Colts are up in the air now because they don't have a quarterback.
Look at and Houston as well.
I guess the
Tennessee Titans are the team probably in that division that'll be strong because their defense has been rebuilt and they've re-signed some of their free agents.
My question would be this. This is my biggest concern and has been with Urban Meyer. Will he hang around if things go south? He doesn't. He starts having health issues. He starts having something.
That's been his past MO. I'd be
a leopard doesn't change its spots. Milton says Jags will be better. Milton says Carolina's problem's always been nobody to catch the ball. Well, they've got decent receiving core. They just didn't even throw it to him.
I think that they probably have a little bit better defense than Jacksonville does right now. They're having to rebuild on the fly both sides of the football. They just traded away their starting inside linebacker and all-pro player to the Steelers last night after the Steelers game. Now, and that's a really good question, something to follow each and every week when the NFL season rolls around. Again, I'd love to see, as you look at this, what you've done in the past is look at the schedules. Here's a win, here's a loss, whatever.
That's the only way that you can. That's the only way that you can truly give, I guess, speculation or projections on how people finish. You just can't. You have to go through there, and that's what I did last year: win, loss, and then tally them all up, because that's the only way you can do it.
I think Tennessee in that division is the clear-cut favorite. I mean, they signed a free agent wide receiver. They got a great running back, and quarterback's really good, and their defense is being rebuilt. I don't know when Caleb Farley is going to step on the field. They play tonight, their first preseason game. I don't think he's playing. I don't even think he's dressing. But
now, why would that be? He's a rookie. Does he not need some time?
I don't. Yeah, it's the health issue. I think they're bringing him along slowly.
Okay.
He goes through the individual stuff. I don't think at least stuff that I've read, I don't think he's put on the pads and actually hit anybody yet.
Okay.
He may, but I haven't seen anything that would indicate he's going to play at least tonight.
Okay. What you got on this day, sir?
A couple of things in sports. USFL, back in 1986, signed or saw Herschel Walker leave after they kind of disbanded. He signed a free agent contract with the Dallas Cowboys, and the rest is history. You wonder if the USFL would have hung on for another year, or Herschel Walker may have signed with somebody else. Would the Cowboys had come along with Jimmy Johnson and he traded Herschel Walker, and away you go. They had all those draft picks.
Right.
Wonder what, again, big what if in sports. 1906, baseball, Chicago Cubs pitcher Jack Taylor completed his 187th complete game in a row.
Plus 15 reliefs.
Oh, I didn't see that.
202 total.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Just the amazing part of 187 complete. That'll never happen.
Never.
Again.
Never.
You ain't going to get 87 complete games.
No.
You're not going to get
in a row. This is in a row.
I'm just saying total. You're not going to get total. Nobody throws complete games anymore.
There are a lot of pitchers don't even get into 187 games.
Yeah.
To even start and pitch. 1948, Satchel Paige at age 42 threw his first, speaking of complete games, his first major league complete game for the Cleveland Indians, I believe. Satchel Paige. 1969, Baltimore Orioles pitcher Jim Palmer threw a no-hitter on this date of August 13th as he no-hit the Oakland A's by a final of 8-0. 1969 as well, Bowie Kuhn, formerly appointed as the commissioner, the grand poobah of baseball back in 69. Also on August 13th in 1999, Steffi Graf. You look at tennis, retired from the tennis world, 17-year career, 107 wins, including 22 Grand Slams. Pretty impressive. In 2008, this is at the Olympics in Beijing, swimmer Michael Phelps won his 10th and 11th gold medals on this day back in 2008. Those are some of the things.
How about 1910?
Okay.
The Brooklyn Superas, I don't know what that is, and the Pittsburgh Pirates play the game of perfect symmetry. An 8-8 tie. Both have 8 runs. Both have 13 hits. Both have 2 errors. Both have 12 assists. Both have 5 strikeouts. Both have 3 walks. Both have 1 hit baseman. And both have 1 pass ball.
Interesting.
That's just an anomaly.
And the game ended in a tie.
In a tie, yeah. They kissed their sister.
Oh, wow.
1919, we had this discussion, and I thought this was, and I think I was wrong, Man of War was not a Triple Crown winner. I thought he was. But Man of War's only defeat in 21 career starts came against a horse, and the horse's name was Upset.
There you go.
At Sanford Memorial Stakes at the Saratoga Racetrack. We talked about that. I thought he was a Triple Crown winner, but I don't think he was. I think we came up with that. 1948, the United States defends its Olympic basketball title with a 65-21 win over France in the London Games. A little one-sided there. And that's back when the pros couldn't play.
Correct. And the pros could play this year, and we lost to France.
Yeah.
I think that was the last time we lost to France. You go all the way back to whatever that year that was.
Maybe.
48.
Bert Campaneris, did you have anything on him?
I did not.
1962 of Daytona Beach in the FSL League, minors, pitches ambidextrously.
Through both hands.
Through both hands.
Florida State League, FSL.
That's pretty impressive right
Yeah,
there.
it is.
Yeah.
There was a pitcher that pitched for the A's, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, and I can't remember his name, did the same thing. What he did was, Bert Campaneris was more than, he played all these different, I think it was one of the last players to ever play all 9 positions.
Wow.
But this pitcher that pitched for the A's and some other teams, they brought him into relief pitch, so he threw left-handed to one when they had a left-handed batter, and they pinch hit somebody that batted right-handed, so he switched his glove and threw it right-handed.
I watched something, I watch these weird videos that pop up on my Facebook feed, and it was the slowest, this pitcher threw the slowest 3 pitches for a strikeout in MLB. One was at 56 and 2 were at 59, and they were rainbows.
Okay, Ephus pitch.
I mean, he just lobbed them, and one of them was actually a swinging strike, but the other 2 were called strikes.
Is this of recent note?
Yeah, it wasn't too long ago. I mean, it's
So
at least modern times.
Okay.
We'll have to find it when we get off. Ricky Henderson in 1993 paid Turner Ward $25,000 for his jersey number.
Oh, wow.
That's a lot of money in 1993.
Yes, it is.
$25,000.
Yeah.
In case you're wondering, still.
And
a lot
Turner
of money
Ward,
to me.
which Ricky Henderson playing for which team?
That would have been
Didn't say.
the
Blue
Mets.
Jays.
Is that not New York?
Blue Jays. Ricky.
Oh, Blue Jay. Yeah. Okay. He must have come from New York. Did he come from New
Probably.
York?
He
From the
played for
Mets?
about 12 teams.
Yeah. Right here, 1997, the Padres, which wasn't either one of those 2 teams, trade him to the Angels. So there's 4 teams right there,
Yeah.
not even trying. Birthdays?
Birthdays today, we'll stay a little bit local in the region. Chris Hanberger,
Yeah.
Washington Redskins, played at Duke, I
Played at
believe.
Duke, that's correct.
Born in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, turns 80 today.
43?
What do you mean 43?
Was that his number?
55.
55.
55.
What was I thinking? Okay.
Yeah. 80 today. Is he still with us? I'm assuming he is. I did not see.
I think so.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Tony Cloninger.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's
Lincoln native?
Huh?
Lincoln native?
Cherryville native. Part that I saw. My source said born in Cherryville. Now, I grew up maybe in Lincolnton.
Okay.
I'm sure somebody can correct us.
I thought
The site that I use.
Yeah, he
said
was born, but you think of him in Denver.
Oh,
Yeah,
without
yeah.
a doubt. Born on this day in 1940.
Mm-hmm.
August 13th.
And we lost him in 2018.
2018.
Mm-hmm.
Would have been, 81 today.
Mm-hmm.
Devin McCourty, player with the New England Patriots. Did he retire? No, that was the other guy that retired. He may have played last night, by the way. Safety for the Patriots, turns 34 today. Baseball player known primarily with the New York Yankees, got traded, was featured in Seinfeld a bunch of times, Jay Buhner.
Okay.
Big slugger. 57 today. And former Atlanta Brave infielder, second baseman, Mark Lemke.
Mm-hmm.
Number 14, turns 56 today.
Hamburg was born in Fort Bragg, but do you know where he played his high school football?
Fayetteville.
Hampton, Virginia.
Oh.
He did not play at Duke. He played at Carolina, according to
Okay.
Wikipedia.
Who was I thinking of Duke then? They're right. They're right.
I was thinking the same thing with Hamburg.
There's
But-
another great player, linebacker, I think played at Duke that I'm thinking of played in the same time period.
Okay. There were some passings that I do want to mention before we get done here. A couple you'll recognize, maybe some that you won't. Tim Richmond, American stock car driver.
Yeah.
Won 13 races, died of AIDS in 1989 at the age of 34.
34.
Clifford Allison, one of the Allison boys. I believe he was one of, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was Davy's son, which would have been Bobby's grandson, in 1992 at the age of 27. I could be wrong about that. I looked that up also. The great Mickey Mantle passed away of liver cancer at the age of 63 in 1995 on this day. Phil Rizzuto. I remember him for commercials more than I do baseball.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He was a sportscaster. Passed away in 2007.
Holy cow.
Holy cow. At the age of 89.
Yeah.
He was MVP for the Yankees in 1950.
Nicknamed the Scooter.
1950. Wow. Have a lovely day, folks.
Fabulous Friday.
Let me mention this one programming note. No show Monday or Tuesday. I am going to take a couple days off.
Good for you.
So no show Monday or Tuesday. Back in the saddle on Wednesday morning right here on the Bottom Line. Hope you have a wonderful weekend. The boys are on in the morning, 8 to 10. Hope you can make it. See you guys.